Am I live? Am I live once again on YouTube? Long drought, but nonetheless, a short and brief discussion on why remote play and us PS gamers seem to forget, according by these Xbots. Once again, man. Once again, man, it's your boy Carlos Fernandez, aka Typer 87, aka Sengoku Basara 87. And I'm here to do another live stream, another, how should we put it? Another video on why Xbots do not compute common sense, even on Twitter. Once again, man, it's really funny. As you can see from my Twitter feed, I have a couple of pertainable individuals, FC Violent, Dirk Griggity, Killerito, all these Xbots, and they're going crazy. And sorry for the background noise with the phone. But these Xbots presumably think that by Sony announcing the additional feature of remote play to the iOS is actually them pushing forward for streaming only on all devices. Wow. I really think that these guys are really, really just very salty that this whole generation that the Xbox brand has provided less and lesser content, lesser things for them to talk about other than just features. Mind you, this feature that was on PlayStation, right, since 2006, apparently Microsoft copied it back in 2012 with the Xbox Glass app, if I can recall. You couldn't do the same features as the PSN now, the PS Remote Play, but you had similar options to play your content as per se media, meaning videos and certain things. It was very limited compared to the PlayStation Remote Play. But you got now guys jumping over the fences, talking about Xbox Smart Glass, talking about that we're denying the facts. We're not denying nothing. We're just pointing out something that you guys are hyping up once again, hyping up something that most PS users don't even use. You're trying to bring it up as the rule of numbers of engagement. And in reality, if we go to the Google store, let me stop the screen share. Let me go to the Google store. Let me go to Google Play, and we're gonna go directly to the Google Play Store, and then I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm talking about, exactly why all this commotion in regards to the Sony Remote Play is such a wrong way to go on about it. Nobody's being negative about it. We're just saying that you guys are hyping up a situation where it really doesn't benefit nobody at all. Because number one, if the PlayStation has around 90 million users using the hardware, 90, right? I'm going to search up PS4 Remote Play, right? This is on the Google Store. And what do you know? What do we have? We have the PS4 Remote Play, right? Let me stick the screen over here. Okay, we have the PlayStation Remote Play right here. This app, I have it just right here, right? PS4 Remote Play. PS4 Remote Play. The power of PS4 streamed to your Sony Xperia smartphone and tablet. Connect your Xperia smartphone or tablet to your home Wi-Fi network. Grab a DualShock 4 wireless controller and continue your PS4 games on your Xperia device away from your TV screen. Let's read more. Supported Xperia smartphone and tablet at the following URL, right? Now, this is the main important detail within the context of this whole remote play. Use this feature, but it also requires a PlayStation 4 system, a DualShock 4 wireless controller, and an account with high-speed internet connection, right? Meaning that you have to use your internet speed from your home in order to use this feature. I, for one, back in the PlayStation 3 gen, I had a PSP, and I actually got to use the remote play via my job's Wi-Fi and actually turn on my PS3, browse the menu, and that was about it. I couldn't do nothing else in terms of playing games because it was very limited to the features. Now, seeing that this is the new, we hate to say you PlayStation guys are wrong kind of conundrum that these Xbox are trying to push for their narrative, you can clearly see that the remote play is way different from what Microsoft is trying to do with their Play Anywhere incentive. Now, once again, there's another app which is called the PlayStation Second Screen, right? Second Screen. This app is compatible with all your devices, right? Notice the difference between the two apps that I'm showing you, comparable to what the Xbox are trying to get at, right? Connect your PS4 and your mobile device with the Second Screen app to use the following features. Use your mobile device to operate your PS4, right? I'm highlighting it just so that you guys can read and see what I'm talking about. Use the mobile device to operate your PS4. Display in-game information on your mobile device while playing a game on the PS4 that supports the Second Screen feature. Use your mobile device to enter text on the PS4. A PlayStation Network account is required to access these features. Notice that with this app, you don't necessarily need to be at your home, right, to access the remote play feature for this app. But for the actual PS4 remote play app, which is right here next to the PS4 Second Screen Share app, you actually need the hardware, which is the proprietary Sony hardware, in order to play or use the remote play feature on said device, right? Whether it be on the iOS, Android, or tablet, or Sony Xperia, PS Vita, or PSP. Now, for the Second Screen Share app, you don't need those features because those features are open source to multiple devices. Now, my whole thing is, right? My whole thing is with this situation and how these guys are going on a rant, not even a rant, going on with this whole show of concern for a feature that's on the PlayStation that was already since when? What, 2006? Now it seems that it has to be emphasized that Sony is now doing what Microsoft is doing themselves. And quite frankly, it's the opposite. Microsoft is following the same ideas that Sony brought forth when presenting the remote play platform to the general audience. That's where the differences are at between what Sony's doing and what Microsoft is doing. Microsoft, for example, let's see. Let me go back again and then screen share my other screen, and then once again pull up Google. Not the Hangouts, but rather, let's see. Now, I'm going to go back once again, and we're going to search up Xbox Remote Play. Xbox Remote Play, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, Remote Play, all right? Some of these articles are back from 2012, 2015, 2014, and so forth, right? And I'm going to look up for PS Remote Play so that we can contrast and compare what Sony's been doing for years and what Microsoft now is trying to implement themselves to the users as well. So let's dig right into it. Xbox Play Anywhere, right? This is the version of Xbox Remote Play, right? We're going to go into the website. Xbox Play Anywhere. Anywhere is a place to play, right? Now, as you can see, you can buy once, play anywhere, which you can do the same for certain PS4 titles. Not all PS4 titles support the remote play feature. That's one of the biggest differences. But here are the list of the games that you can play on Xbox Play Anywhere, meaning remote play the same way as Sony, but through the usage of multiple different devices, right? Look at that. PC, Xbox, right? Now, if I am to be corrected, if I pull up, let's say you go down to the Xbox app, or you can see Xbox One Smart Glass. Let me pull this up, right? You sign in real quick. We're going to continue this little endeavor on debunking these Xbots. Now, with the Xbox One Smart Glass, right? Your activity appears here. Play and watch things you like to see them appear here, right? Now, if I wanted to, I go home. I'll go to the home and then look at this little feature right here. Connect to Xbox One. All right. Now, if I can recall, this is the same feature that can be used for the PlayStation Remote Play, right? Which is similar to what can be done with the PlayStation 4, right? But the only difference is that the Xbox Smart Glass doesn't necessarily need to use the proprietary hardware in order to initiate the connection. The PlayStation does for its remote play. That is why They're transitioning into the PS4 second screen app for that instance so that more devices can actually support it. That is the only difference. See, I haven't even used my Xbox for this because I find this feature not to be benefiting for me. I like to play my games completely in my control. I don't use this feature because, once again, these Xbox guys, they like to hype up features rather than just games. They rather hype up this here and saying that Sony's doing the same thing when it's already been done for years. 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 Really makes no sense to go and say that we're bashing something that it's already been used for so long, for a long, long time. Now, this is where I'm going to go once again. Oh my God. And it's funny how these guys, they just love to bring up stuff that doesn't make no sense. Y'all Sony motherfuckers, sorry for the cursing. Y'all Sony pony MFers need to smack yourselves. We get it. You need a PS4 to run the game. What y'all don't get is that is the step in the future. My guy, FC Violent. You're gonna get the pure roastage right now, my brother. Like, you really deserve the pure roastage. Because how is a feature that's been used for so many years is the future when it's already being used presently by a small amount of people? How is the future being presented when it's already been done years ago? Explain the logic behind this tweet. I know that there's some people that love to troll on Twitter, but you got to have a little bit of more style and flair when you troll people. You can't just come out with rhetorical quotes like this on Twitter and think that you're not going to catch no flack from people. You really don't understand what's going on. You really think that just by you talking smack out your mouth, you're going to win the debate, and you're not, bro. You got to bring facts. Using this little GIF, talking about, oh, come on, bro. Like, get your trolling game up, bro. Step your trolling game up. Step it up, my brother, because it's not. And then now you want to say, I'm not at all, my guy. For me, I don't care. I hope it does the same for PS. The pic below show me that it's coming or has some degree as well. PS Anywhere, laughing out loud. If I can recall, if we go back to the initial release date of the PlayStation Remote Play, Microsoft is kind of copying the same thing that PlayStation's been doing for a couple of years. If anything else, Microsoft is actually following in the footsteps of what Sony initially started back in the third generation PS3 life cycle. If we can go back in time, if you want to really place it like if it's that much worse. And quite frankly, Remote Play has a lot of inconsistencies as well for Sony. It doesn't really provide that much of a better experience for certain people due to the fact that you have limitations within the usage of the feature. Meaning that if you don't have a steady, stable internet connection line, you're not going to be able to play the games the way you want to. Even with the hardware being utilized to do the actual same function as what the console would if you was to turn it on, take your controller, and put it on your TV. But the difference between hardware and streaming is that streaming has a lot of inconsistencies with it. It does lag. It does put a lot of strain on your bandwidth. And if you have a crappy bandwidth, then you're not going to be able to use this feature completely. You might have certain limitations with certain games. Heck, you might not even be able to play most multiplayer-based games on remote play via PS4 because guess what? That is also utilizing bandwidth, which what? Causes to lag, causes the game to stutter, causes the game to not perform the way it's supposed to perform. But you see, guys like these right here, like FC Violent, Xbot 448, K Mega, Dirt Griggity, they all want to spin that we all hate Xbox for certain reasons. Nah, bro, we don't hate Xbox for certain reasons. We just don't like chauvinistic morons like you trying to defend a situation where there's nothing to defend on. There is a very small minimum amount of people that use the remote play feature on the PS4 and PS3. It wasn't a ground-setting feature that actually flocked people to play the games. No, the content that got those games, let me rephrase that. The content that was put by Sony for this generation is what got people to engage them and their brand more. Not the other way around. Features do not sell consoles, and that is a number one fact. Exclusive and content sells consoles. These guys are trying to push the features narrative over content. And quite frankly, excuse me, it doesn't really benefit nothing. You guys are like really losing a dying battle trying to push the narrative that, excuse me, that the Xbox brand is doing better when in actuality it is not. Streaming is the future. Yes, everybody knows this. All gamers know this, that streaming is the future, that streaming is going to be the quintessential feature that most users in the near future are going to flock to. But for the meanwhile, right now, present 2019 and going so forth, there's going to be a lot of changes and implementation of hardware to support the streaming feature. Now, that the hardware is going to cease to exist? No, it is not, because you still need the hardware. Regardless if you go all wireless, you're still going to need a pinnacle point of hardware in order to introduce the software for the user. You're going to need it. It is quintessential for the hardware to actually perform to par to the user's benefit. And that's why the streaming and remote play is good for those who have the best internet connection, for those who have, the time and dedication to play their games away from the console, is beneficial for them. But for the rest of the 90 plus million users on PlayStation that are currently playing, this feature is not as highly used as how you would say as the amount of people that are utilizing Game Pass. It is not. The engagement of those numbers compared to what Game Pass is doing is very small. Remote play is a feature that not all PlayStation users are bragging about or even trying to debate, because it doesn't really make no sense to even go into a debate. This feature has been in use since 2006, since the PS3 generation. Why all of a sudden now that the iOS hardware is being utilized, you guys want to come out of the woodwork and say that, oh, it's a wrap. PlayStation is doing the same thing as Microsoft, when in reality, Microsoft has been doing the same thing as Sony, just a little bit more later on into the generation. The Xbox One generation. And yes, you did have the Xbox 360 remote play, but it was later on into the console's life cycle. I believe it came out in 2013 for the Xbox 360, and then it fully went more compatible to Windows 10 in later years. So all of this remote play and that Sony's doing the same thing as Microsoft, bro, it's been debunked plenty of times. It is something that most people don't really brag about because it's a feature. It is only a feature. What are you going to debate about a feature? It's something that anybody can use. I could use the PS4 remote play and I choose not to. That is an option. That is why you have options. You guys like to spin, oh, but you have options. Yeah, I have the option of not giving a flying fuck about it. I have the option of not supporting the remote play if it doesn't benefit me. Just the same way as I don't have the option of supporting the Play Anywhere initiative. See, that's the difference between knowing what you're talking about to not knowing how to express what you know. Okay? Furthermore, Play Anywhere and remote play do share similarities when it comes to devices. They both share the same emphasis, but they use different methods in order to get people to integrate, or even to not to integrate, but rather engage the usage of the feature. That is where the biggest difference is at when it comes to these features for both consoles. Anyways, once again, man, it's your boy Type R87. Catch me on the RGT podcast later on today at 5 p.m. with BitCloud Gaming, Meds, Titanfall, Craig Harris, and of course, my brother from another mother, Foxy Games UK. And give a like, give a share, give a subscribe, and show some support to each of these individuals, and to also, to show some love for gaming. And I don't know, man. Misinformation is a hell of a delusional drug, especially for these Xbots. But once again, man, you can catch me on Twitter at just me and my girls. Follow me on YouTube as well and subscribe to my channel at Carlos Sengoku Basara 87. And I'll see y'all later on the RGT podcast. Y'all have a blessed day. Peace.